Hey everybody, welcome to another review from AC Cinematic Escape on YouTube. I just finished watching Lightyear. It is 9:55 p.m. Before I get into the details of this review, I want everybody to understand, and I am well aware of the controversy that's surrounding this film regarding a specific scene that occurs in this film. And my goal is to more or less focus on the storyline aspect rather than storyline and for entertainment purposes rather than focusing on the political spectrum that has that this film has essentially found itself surrounded in. I have read and listened to the complaints about that scene, and while I do understand the ramifications of it, I will say that it is up to the parents to whether or not to use their own discretion as to if they're comfortable with their children watching that specific scene or the themes that are associated with it. Um, but as I said, I'm not going to go into the details of it because I want to keep this free of any unnecessary political diatribe that is currently uh, surrounding our environment as we speak. And you watch film to escape. You don't necessarily watch film to hear about the things that you're attempting to avoid. Uh, Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the details of this review. Lightyear is a prequel to the Toy Story franchise involving the character of Buzz Lightyear. I've always loved the Toy Story franchise. I grew up much like a lot of people playing with their toys. I mean, in my case, it was G.I. Joe, Thundercats, Centurions. I remember even having some Rambo action figures, a Chuck Norris action figure, Spider-Man, you name it. And just sitting there in the bathtub or in my room, coming up with all these different scenarios of these crossovers that you didn't know you were doing crossovers at the time, but here we are in 2022, and then we're just seeing crossovers all the time, whether it be in film or animation. So you have this film, this story that takes place, gives you a clear representation of what it's about, and it is the film that Andy watched that made him become obsessed with Buzz Lightyear. Now, I've always believed that there was only two ways that this film could work. You could either have it where Andy happened to see this film and made him obsessed with the character, or you could have him playing with the toy, and the film that you are watching is Andy picturing that story within his mind, and you are watching him create this story with his mind. So that's really the only way that you can make this story work. Uh, this film is about Lightyear conducting several experiments with this hyperspeed aerodynamics mission that involves him going into specific time periods. I don't want to say time periods, but alternate realities where a certain number of years have passed, and and in this case it's 4 years. So every single time he went through this specific wormhole, 4 years have passed. Whereas minutes for him is 4 years on Earth, and every single person has gotten older, and the world has changed in such a significant way, like it would if we went through that experiment. Uh, Unfortunately, during him with this experimentation, he finds that he's jumped too far, and he wants to be able to go back to his present time period. But unfortunately, he finds himself in this spectacular adventure with this band of misfits that are attempted to overthrow uh, this evil cyborg robot overlord Zurg that is intent on more or less removing all space rangers. Uh, the one major change that this film has, and I know everybody is well aware of it, is Christopher Evans voicing the character of Buzz Lightyear instead of Tim Allen. I have to say, we have watched Tim Allen be associated with this character for four Toy Story films, along with the spin offs and even the video game with the Super Nintendo, which was immensely difficult. It's still to this very day, I never beat that game. So to listen to Christopher Evans portray the character of Buzz Lightyear was very jarring to me because I simply just could not wrap my head around exactly as to why they removed Tim Allen from this role. Buzz Lightyear is Tim Allen. Tim Allen is Buzz Lightyear. There is no replacing him. And anytime that I heard Christopher Evans saying the iconic familiar phrase that we all at some point or another has recited, it just felt it didn't have that same charm and magical feel to it for me personally. I just don't think that he should have voiced his character. You could tell that he was doing his best in an attempt to emulate the voice of Tim Allen, but it just doesn't work. And what it reminds me of, I can remember when I was watching Rocket Man, the wonderful musical biopic about Elton John that was starring Taron Egerton. And I love the music of Elton John. I mean, Elton John is one of my favorite musicians of all time. I have several of his albums. He's a musical genius. But I remember when I was sitting there watching the film on opening night, and anytime that I was getting ready to go into an Elton John song, I found myself mentally preparing to hear Elton's voice associated with the music. And when I heard Taron Egerton sing, it just, to me personally, I don't think he could sing. So it just really took me out of being able to enjoy those songs. So it got to the point where I immediately came home and listened to Elton John's song just so I could remove Taron Egerton singing from my mind. And that's pretty much the same way with this. It's not like Robin Williams in with Aladdin, where you weren't necessarily concerned about Will Smith doing an injustice to the character, because Will Smith's voice and charismatic personality is enough to really carry that performance to the point to where it's not so much of an insult to that character. Uh, so with this, it just felt hollow. And when I hear Christopher Evans' voice in Lightyear, it just makes me think of Captain America all over again. So it's not necessarily a knock on him or his talent. It just didn't work for me in the confines of that story because, as I said, Tim Allen is Lightyear. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They should not have let Tim Allen go from that role. It's like, almost as if you're trying to have another actor voice Woody. It's not going to work. It's almost as if that you were attempting to have, even though the Joker is such an iconic character in and of himself, you can pretty much have anyone voice him. It's hard to imagine another actor voicing the Joker in an animated fashion that isn't Mark Hamill. So it's just one of those. It's like Nancy Cartwright not voicing Bart Simpson. It just doesn't really work in that fashion. But from a from a storyline perspective, I thought Lightyear was a very good film. I really did. I thought it was very fun, majestical. Uh, I thought the one what Disney Pixar has always succeeded with is the ability to craft such amazing visuals that put you within the confines of that world. And I've always enjoyed the world of Lightyear. I've always enjoyed the world of Toy Story. There's all the different color schemes that are associated with the specific characters, and this film is no different. The only difference is you are going into the realm of space, and you have all these different colors associated with space and different timelines that have you uh, on this adventure with Buzz Lightyear, and of course these band of misfits that he's on this adventure with. Uh, so I did enjoy it. It's a very formulaic story, simple, predictable. But in all honesty, it's very hard to surpass the quality that is the original Toy Story storyline. I mean, you just simply cannot replicate the magic that those films bestowed upon us for those years, because in my opinion, what made those stories so special is how the cast and crew has such a obvious chemistry with one another. Was fun listening to them banter off each other back and forth with the uncontainable energy. And with this one, I didn't really believe in the relationship between the characters because, as I mentioned, Christopher Evans just doesn't have that charming, adventurous voice that Tim Allen has, especially when you think of Buzz Lightyear. But and I do, and then for me personally, I like Christopher Evans as an actor. I mean, I thought he was fantastic in the Fantastic Four films. Of course, I loved him in Captain America. Uh, in my opinion, he's a very talented actor. I just don't think that he was right for this role. Uh, but overall, I thought Lightyear was fun. I will say the one character that does carry this film in complete totality is the animatronic robot cat Socks. He has the best lines, and he is probably the funnest character in the film because his monotone voice is what makes everything sound better. And given that I have a dry sense of humor myself, just hearing that voice in the most dramatic situations makes it amusing, in my opinion. Uh, but despite it being a very simple formulaic story, I thought it was very good. I thought that it was fun. Just it provides a necessary escapism that allows people to just go into another world. It's not deep. It's nothing philosophical. It is what it is. Despite the controversy surrounding it, I was able to more or less just tune that out and just enjoy it for what it is. From I guess my final score, I have to give it probably maybe a 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, somewhere up in there. And I'm only saying that because it loses so much when you don't have the proper actor. You don't have the actor that's obviously associated with this character to portray that role. And so when you take him away, it just doesn't. It didn't feel right. So of course I have to take a point off from that. But it was it. I will say the overall product, the quality of the story, wasn't to the point to where it detracted me. It made it. It wasn't to the point to where I didn't enjoy it. I still enjoyed the film. It's just I think it would have been a 100% better if they just had Tim Allen just do it right from the beginning. It just would have worked. I think it would have been a lot more fun, and I think people wouldn't have such reservations as to watch it because he's not involved with it. Overall, I do recommend it. I do recommend it. It's not horrible for children. I do believe that it's something that the family could watch and enjoy together. And from that point of view, I do recommend it. I thought it was very fun. That is my review of Lightyear. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to provide a like or a comment if you want to. And be sure if you're interested in joining my Discord server, the link is on my channel. And the next review that I will be providing is going to be Black Phone that I intend to watch on Thursday night. So be on the lookout for that. Hope you guys are still doing well and take care and peace out.